Try to get this right. I just feel like I have found culture. Feel like I found culture separate from what I've learned from American ways because I come from the hood, so my mom, not to talk about her, but she had afflictions with drugs, a lot of depression, a lot of that stuff in my family. A lot of the intergenerational curses from slavery and from the Middle Passage, and my family suffered generation after generation after generation. They suffered from the Middle Passage, through slavery, through the lows of Jim Crow, through all oppression and all that stuff. I remember my grandmother, she was obese and she was depressed. She pretty much ate herself to death, and I hate to say it that way, but she was really depressed. And they were Jehovah's Witnesses. They believed in God. They believed in the Father. Their way of worshiping was as Jehovah's Witness. So so it's not that she didn't have God in her life, she was depressed. And I believe that the intergenerational trauma of slavery is real. A lot of our people suffered, and a lot of them are still suffering. A lot of African Americans are suffering from that. And I think a lot of white folks are suffering too because they have been lied to as well. But nonetheless, this is not about that. Today, this is going to be about reading of the Haile Selassie version of the Holy Bible. Amen. So we're now at Genesis chapter 7. I did want to say something about, last we read Genesis chapter 5, and Genesis chapter 5 gave the generations of Adam. But you know what I noticed, and I'm a woman, and I have to say it. It says the generation of Adam. It doesn't say the generation of Adam and Eve. But Eve is such a major figure, and I don't want to say figure as if this is mythology, but Eve is a major person in how sin entered this world. And I was just wondering, I was just thinking about that, because when God created Adam, he created Eve from Adam. You get it? So Adam came first, and God gave Adam those laws and the rules, and he established his covenant with him. I'm still reading more about that, more understanding more of the Adamic, I think they call it, covenant. But nonetheless, when we read in Genesis chapter 2, God had made Adam out of dust, and he breathed life into him. And then he told him not to eat of the tree of knowledge, had him name all of the different animals and whatnot. And then he saw that there was no mate for him. So God put him into a deep sleep, and he pulled from out of his side, and from out of his side he created the woman. So, and then we go and get to Genesis chapter 3, and it says that the serpent went to the woman. She didn't go straight to Adam. The serpent knew who to go to, and he somehow coerced the woman to choose to eat of the fruit, and then she in turn must have persuaded Adam to. I just don't think that she went and she said, "Here, Adam, eat this fruit." And Adam is like, "Yeah, well, it's not." I'm sure there was something else going on there. But it does make me wonder, why would Eve choose to listen to the serpent? Now, I know what a serpent looked like nowadays. I'm sure a serpent looked like the same then. Was this serpent coming to visit her some other time? I'm just wondering, what made that woman decide to go against her husband's rule? Because I'm sure Adam told her that God said not to eat of that tree, and she still went ahead and she ate of that tree. So after being told by the serpent. So I wonder about that. And then that was another thing too that had me wondering, as we had read yesterday, Genesis chapter 6. chapter 6 yesterday had talked about how the sons of God saw the daughters of men and that they were fair. The sons of God and the daughter of men. Somebody had responded to one of my posts, and they was talking about there's something that they said, and I wish I remember their name, but there was something that they said that had me think, like, maybe the sons of God are man, because, not man meaning humans, man meaning the male, because God made the man. God made the man out of dust, and God breathed into the man, right? So that made him the son of God. And the woman God made from the man. God pulled the man's side out of the woman. God pulled the side out of the man, and out of that, he formed the woman. And so maybe that's why they say that that's daughters of man. So it just had me wondering, what was going on there, and then reading the different theologies of what people believe what's going on there. But I really do think that that's it, because Jesus is considered the son of God, and then later on we read all of us are considered the sons and the daughters of God. However, in the beginning, when God made Adam, Adam was made out of dust, and God breathed life into him, and that made him to be the son of God in his image. And so he put him to sleep, had him go into a deep sleep, and pulled out of his side, and out of that he made the woman. So that makes sense that now that woman would be the daughter of man. So I'm thinking that's what's going on here. Of course, there are more books to read. There's the book of Enoch. There's other books, the Ethiopian Bible. I believe they have more going on about the story of Adam. So I have to do more reading and to get back to that. But I just kind of wanted to touch on that before I went and moved on into Genesis chapter 7, which we are about to read right now. So